back to my channel. This is Tita Lavinia of Tita's of Pageantry, and for this episode, let's get to talk about the new controversy involving Miss World. So please make sure you stick around, please subscribe to the channel, as well as hit that bell notification button for your weekly pageant fix. Hey guys, I hope that you're feeling a lot better this week. I know that most of us from the pageant community were feeling down and low last week, but I also think that might have something to do with the cooler weather as well. So as we approach summer, I hope that most of us will feel a lot lighter, a lot brighter. And I think that because we have more activities and more movement in pageantry these past few days, I think that most of us are really gearing up for what's in store this coming summer. We have so many things lined up. If all goes well, we will be super busy this coming summer. So as of last week, we already have some announcements coming from Miss Universe Philippines. Binibining Pilipinas as well has rolled out a number of announcements, as well as Miss Philippines Earth. Now, I was actually supposed to give you a content on Miss Philippines Earth, but I pushed this one back a little further because, yeah, I made room for this topic because it seemed unstoppable, and I think that in the coming days it will become dirtier. So, before I delve into our topic today, let me just issue some announcements because our topic will cover, of course, Miss World Philippines and the controversial Miss World 2021. But today is February 11th, and just a few hours ago, Miss World Philippines made an announcement saying that they will be opening submissions for screening, and they rolled out dates for you, which I will be flashing on screen. And it seems that the deadline for submission of entries will be by April 8th of 2022. Screening will start on April 19, and the projected finals for Miss World Philippines won't be until May 29. Now, everything has to happen, you guys. There are still a number of ladies that are waiting to be dispatched to this to their international competitions under the Miss World Philippines organization. But of course, all eyes are on Tracy Maureen Perez. She is in the Philippines right now. She just recently arrived, and the organization hosted a press conference for her. And when photos were published, it seemed that everything was, going well, and we were just waiting for Tracy to fly back to Puerto Rico, as the organization, the international organization, already made an announcement that they will be hosting the finals this coming March 16th. Until this big news happened. We started receiving DMs on Instagram about a link of an article that was written by Jay Fonseca on February 9th. And because I've been on an extended lazy ride, I just checked on the article. It was in Spanish. I wasn't really interested, so I let it sit there for a while, up until I started realizing that there's a trend. It seems that there were a lot of admins who have also picked up on the story, and there were a number of admins, at least on the Instagram side. I'm just not sure if it was the same on Facebook, that started posting snippets of this article and started translating it. And when I finally decided to just read through the article and see who was involved in it, I finally figured out that I was really going to wait, because the article involved a lawsuit against Miss World 2016 Stephanie Del Valle. Now, I have to be a little more conscious with this, because if I post this immediately, it would create chaos, as the Titas of Pageantry page is pretty substantial these days, and there are a lot of really vocal commenters out there, and I didn't want to just rub it in just because it has the involvement of Stephanie Del Valle. I wanted to wait for more information to come in, and I really wasn't so sure, if I'm being very honest with you, how reliable Jay Fonseca was. So I did a little bit of research, and it seemed that Jay Fonseca is a journalist in Puerto Rico. I didn't want to just rely on one article talking about this, and I slept on it. So today, I checked on the news, I checked on Stephanie Del Valle's name, and there seemed to be more articles supporting this. So it seems that, fire has caught on, and a lot of people, at least on their side, are already talking about this. And I felt that it was a go signal for me to create this content for you, because a few hours ago, Stephanie Del Valle also issued an official statement, making both sides at least, balance for me to present them to you. So this is already translated in English, so I will be reading it out for you. And just to give you an idea, this definitely has something to do with embezzlement. So just to give you a description of what embezzlement entails, it means theft or misappropriation of funds placed in one's trust or belonging to one's employer. So, very early on, you get the feel that this has definitely has something to do with money. The controversial article from jfonseca.com, it was entitled Bomb Against Celebration of Miss World in Puerto Rico. And the article says, the government of Puerto Rico and the municipality of Rio Grande granted more than 1.2 million from public funds to an entity that as early as October 2021 did not have the capacity to carry out the final of the Miss World International Beauty Pageant that was scheduled to be held in December of the same year. This is stated in a lawsuit filed today before the Court of San Juan in the hands of the investigation team of Cuatro Poder, WAPA TV, in which it is alleged that the former Miss World Puerto Rico, Stephanie Del Valle, and her corporation, Reignite, did not possess the financial capacity, personnel, or experience to carry out the contest, for which it subcontracted to the company Puerto Rico with a Purpose L3C to transfer all public and private sponsorship funds to carry out the contest. Reignite issued 3 checks totaling $1,225,000, but the lawsuit alleges that the company committed fraud because it immediately ordered its bank to stop payment, and the checks were bounced when deposited by Puerto Rico with the Purpose L3C. As a result, the embezzlement and improper withholding of funds has jeopardized the celebration of Miss World contest in Puerto Rico scheduled for March 16, 2022. The damage that Reignite is causing and may continue to cause would be irreparable, since not being able to hold the final of the Miss World 2021 contest would constitute irreparable damage to the claimant, to the contestants representing other countries in the world, to the multiple economic commitments of multiple natural and legal persons, as well as the people of Puerto Rico, reads the lawsuit. This news portal tried to communicate with the former Miss World Puerto Rico, Stephanie Del Valle, with another official from her company, but at the time of this publication, no response has been received. So, yeah, just to summarize this, for those of you who still need the summary, it seems that, the government of Puerto Rico gave funds to a company that was headed by Stephanie Del Valle to bring in Miss World to Puerto Rico. And I suppose because of how the postponement came about, they waited for these funds, and it just didn't seem like they had the capacity to stage the show, so they passed on the responsibility and subcontracted the arrangement, this time to Puerto Rico with the Purpose L3C. And there were checks that were issued, those checks bounced, and gladly, Stephanie Del Valle did not waste any time. She waited for a couple of hours to respond to this, and she also issued her very own official statement, which reads, in an exercise of transparency, verticality, and fiduciary responsibility, I offer statements on behalf of Reignite Puerto Rico and myself regarding the defamatory allegations made yesterday. The total of the federal funds that the government of Puerto Rico dispersed to reignite Puerto Rico in advance for the promotion of the island through the celebration of the Miss World 2021 event were frozen immediately after the cancellation of the event on December 16th. As a result of the cancellation, the funds have been returned in full to the government of Puerto Rico. Injecting economic development, resources, and tourism to our island has been and always will be our mission. Our only intention has been to properly manage the funds and keep our foundation away from what is frivolously alleged here. We reiterate to the people of Puerto Rico and the people around the world that my foundation, none of our officers, nor I have committed embezzlement or illegal appropriation of federal funds allocated by the government of Puerto Rico as alleged in the frivolous and malicious lawsuit filed yesterday. Our team, together with our legal representation, are working to answer the lawsuit so that the details of what happened are made public at the correct time. Thank you, Puerto Rico, for allowing me to positively impact my island and for always supporting me. So, if you go back to Stephanie's announcement or official statement, it's actually nicely written. It's very calm. There is a tinge, of course, of disappointment of being involved in this controversy, but it seemed like she was really sure that they really returned all of these funds. Now, this is, of course, a developing story, and this is, of course, something that will impact the finals this coming March. We haven't heard from Miss World organization yet, and we actually don't know whether or where Miss World organization stands. I mean, they've been very friendly with Puerto Rico in general, and they had a grand time in Puerto Rico, but Miss World organization just can't seem to catch a break, and it seems like they've been trying to stay afloat, and I don't know whether it's time to maybe rethink their strategies. Maybe it's time to recalibrate if this is even a good idea to go into, because if you come to think about it, 1.2 million dollars US dollars, it's not cheap, you guys. I mean, for a country like Puerto Rico, who's always devastated by cyclones and hurricanes, I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people there who are thinking that, there is better use for these funds than to go into a beauty pageant that just seems really shady with all the shady dealings and shady connections. So I want to say that this has something to do with miscommunications, but if people are taking matters to court, there must be something really important and really heavy involved in this. And unfortunately, with the funds involved, with the arrangement involved, with government officials as well as private citizens and pageant fans as well, we also have to consider that, yeah, they might have been too ambitious with this, and it just feels like it's a sinking boat that's really struggling to stay afloat. Now, I don't know how this will positively impact the pageant this coming March. There are so many talks saying that it might be postponed again or it might be canceled altogether, but the truth of the matter is that these candidates have been there for quite some time. A number of them have been aging out. And the top 40, I'm pretty sure they're eager. And I'm also pretty sure that none of the individuals who were involved in that wanted this to happen. I'm also pretty sure that they didn't want COVID to happen as well. But to add another layer to the already difficult situation that Miss World got itself caught in, I feel it's already too much. Either they streamline everything, they scrap the whole pageant, or just think of something a little more cost effective. Now, as for the lawsuits and as for the statements of both parties, unfortunately, releasing statements on social media won't rectify this, no matter how nicely written these statements are. So, Stephanie, unfortunately, will really have to face the music, but she seemed really decisive and she seemed really sure that the funds were frozen, that the funds were returned. So if she has all of these paperwork, I'm pretty sure there's really nothing to implicate Stephanie in whatever, craziness this lawsuit has brought in. Now, at the same time, I'm also not discounting the fact that there were probably irregularities that were detected, because these people won't go into this whole idea of bringing an issue to the courts, because if it were as easy as returning funds via sending money from a transfer app like Gcash, I think that it wouldn't have reached this level. But knowing that they are dealing with funds that are just so large that could help out the whole community for a few months or maybe a full year, yeah, this definitely has something more legal and more biting involved. So it's pretty sad, because of course, our very own candidate, Tracy Maureen Perez, has been pretty eager to really show what she's got, and to show that she has a fighting chance in snagging that blue crown. But you know what? Talks on snagging another title will be irrelevant when we're dealing with an organization who just has so many loose strings to tie. So up until Miss World gets everything ironed out and rectified, I don't think it's even appropriate to think about another title for the Philippines, or to think about beauty pageants in its most shallow form, when the foundation really has to have reinforcement, when the organization really has to I don't know, just keep things clean and just keep things, well documented. And we all know how difficult it is to stage an event at this time, with logistics and money and everything crazy about the pandemic. So moving forward, yeah, I hope that they iron this one out. And moving forward, I really, really hope that Miss World rethinks the way it presents itself. I think 90 contestants is just too much. 90 to more than 100 contestants is just too much. Fast track events, it's just really also too much. So if they want to remain relevant, if they want to remain important in the business of pageantry, and because they've been getting themselves involved here and there, now might be a really good time to just remove excess baggage. So there you go, guys. I've decided to go on live on Sunday. I will be giving you an announcement on the YouTube community page, but up until then, I hope that you won't jump into conclusion and not demonize Stephanie as well, because I know you Filipino fans are just really waiting for that opportunity to bite like a shark. Chomp, chomp, chomp. So there. Thank you so much. I'll see you very soon. There are so many things to talk about, so we will make Bawi after all that full week of being super lazy. Thanks, you guys. Bye.